You open your paycheck app, and there it is again. A chunk of your money is just gone, taken, vanished into taxes before you even touched it. So naturally, you assume billionaires must be paying even more. Way more, right? A guy worth $50 billion must be handing over billions to the government every single year. Not even close. Some of the richest people on the planet pay a smaller percentage in taxes than you do. Yes, you, sitting there with your regular salary and your regular bank account. And no, they are not hiding cash in suitcases or breaking the law. What they are doing is completely legal. It is actually built into the system on purpose. So let's figure out how this works, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. First, the wrong explanation. You probably think billionaires get taxed like everyone else, just on a bigger paycheck, bigger salary, bigger tax bill. Simple math, except billionaires almost never take a salary at all. Look at someone like the founder of a massive tech company. Their official salary might be $1 a year. $1. Meanwhile, their net worth grows by billions. How does that even work? Here is the twist. Your income gets taxed. Their wealth does not, at least not automatically. There is a difference between being rich and having income, and that difference is where this entire trick lives. Think about your house for a second. Imagine your house doubles in value over 10 years. Does the government send you a tax bill the moment the value goes up? No. You only get taxed when you actually sell it. Until then, on paper you are richer, but in the eyes of the tax system, nothing happened yet. Billionaires use this exact same idea, just with stock instead of houses. Most billionaires' wealth is not sitting in a bank account. It is sitting in shares of the companies they built or invested in. And unrealized gains, meaning the stock went up, but you have not sold it, are not taxed. So a founder can watch their company's stock rise by $10 billion in a year and technically owe nothing on that increase. Nothing. Because on paper, they have not made a single dollar yet. It is just a number that grew. Okay, so here's where you're probably thinking, sure, but eventually they need actual cash to live on, right? You can't pay for a yacht with unrealized stock gains. And this is where the second trick kicks in, and it might be the most clever part of the whole system. Instead of selling their stock and triggering a taxable event, billionaires borrow money using their stock as collateral. Think of it like a pawn shop, except instead of pawning a watch, they are pawning billions of dollars in shares. And instead of a shady back alley, it is a private bank with extremely good coffee. Banks are thrilled to hand over massive loans at low interest rates because the collateral, the stock, is considered incredibly safe. And here's the key part. Loans are not income. When you borrow money, the government does not tax it because technically you have to pay it back. So a billionaire can borrow $100 million against their stock, spend it on literally anything they want, and owe zero income tax on that $100 million. Meanwhile, you're paying taxes on every single paycheck just to buy groceries. This strategy actually has a nickname among wealth advisors. It's called buy, borrow, die. And yes, the die part is exactly as important as it sounds, so stick around for that. Buy the asset, let it grow. Borrow against it instead of selling it. Simple so far, but what happens to all that debt eventually? This is where it gets almost unbelievable. When the person eventually dies, something called a step up in basis kicks in. Basically, when the stock passes to their heirs, the original gain, the entire increase in value that built up over decades, legally disappears for tax purposes. The heirs inherit the stock at its current value, not the original purchase price. All those years of growth that were never taxed simply vanish from the tax equation. The loans get paid off by selling some of the now tax reset stock, and the rest passes on largely untouched. Warren Buffett, one of the richest investors in modern history, has openly talked about this exact issue for years. He has pointed out that his own tax rate has sometimes been lower than his secretary's, not because he is hiding anything, but because the system taxes wages far more aggressively than it taxes wealth. Buffett himself has argued this is backwards. Let's ground this in real numbers, because this is not just an internet myth. According to ProPublica's 2021 investigation into IRS records, some of the wealthiest Americans paid what they called a true tax rate of under 5% over several years, even as their net worth increased by tens of billions of dollars. Compare that to the average American household, which according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics and IRS data, pays a noticeably higher percentage of actual income in taxes every year, just because that income shows up as a paycheck instead of stock appreciation. Now here's a historical example that makes this click even more. Back in the 1980s, tax reforms actually tried to close some of these gaps, but wealthy individuals and their advisors adapted almost instantly, shifting more compensation into stock options and equity instead of cash salary. The tax code changed, and the strategy simply evolved around it, like water flowing around a rock. Ray Dalio, the billionaire investor who built one of the largest hedge funds in the world, has written extensively about how wealth and power tend to concentrate over long economic cycles, partly because the rules of the financial system quietly favor asset owners over wage earners. It is not a conspiracy. It is baked into how capital gains, loans, and inheritance are treated differently from regular income. So let's zoom out. Why does this matter to you, sitting there with your regular job and your regular paycheck? Because it reveals something most people never think about. There are two financial systems running side by side. One for people who earn income, one for people who own assets. Income gets taxed immediately and aggressively. Assets grow quietly and only get taxed if and when you choose to sell, which if you're a billionaire, you simply never have to do. This is not really about billionaires being evil masterminds. Charlie Munger, Buffett's longtime business partner, used to say that people should study systems and incentives rather than villains, because smart people will always follow whatever incentives the rules create. The rules reward holding assets and punish earning wages. So guess what wealthy people do? They hold assets and avoid wages. Here's the practical lesson, and it's actually useful for regular people too, just at a smaller scale. You cannot borrow billions against stock the way a billionaire can, but the underlying principle still applies to your own money. Owning appreciating assets like index funds, real estate, or retirement accounts and letting them grow untouched is treated far more gently by the tax system than a regular paycheck. The government essentially rewards patience and asset ownership over active income. Understanding that difference alone can change how you think about saving versus investing. So back to that first question. You open your banking app, you see your paycheck, and taxes already took their cut before you even blinked. Meanwhile, somewhere across town, a billionaire's net worth just quietly grew by tens of millions of dollars. And technically, on paper, none of it happened yet. That is the real story. Not suitcases of hidden cash, just a system where growth is invisible until you decide to make it visible. And the richest people on earth have simply figured out how to never make that decision at all. So next time someone tells you the system is fair, remember this. Your paycheck gets taxed the second it lands. Their fortune gets taxed only if they let it. That's not an accident. That's the design. If this opened your eyes even a little, hit subscribe, because next time we're breaking down another money trick nobody explains to you until it's too late.